Hello. Send me fan up. Right. Okay. Let's get my video up on my computer so that I can see chat. There we go. Please say hello when you've joined me. Hi there, Catherine. Nice to see you. I'm not expecting too many people today, actually, because it's Wimbledon, isn't it? And it's the final. So, hi there, Sheila. So I'm not expecting too many folks to come and join us today. Let me just move that across just a little. Balance it up. There we go. And then I've got a bit more of my table in. And in fact, I'll tell you what else I'll do. Open my blind. And then I've got a bit more light. Woo! Look at that, look. Carol said let there be light, so she opened her blind. Long time no see. Read the glue book. Hi there, Gina. You're much more entertaining and fun than the tennis. I doubt that very much. Ah, dear. If you can hear a whirring in the background, and in fact, can you see this thread wobbling about? I've got my fan on because it helps with my breathing a little bit. So yeah, it just helps to keep the air cool because I can't have the windows open because the dust and that. Yeah, just not good for me. So it's really warm in here, and so I have to keep the windows shut. So having the fan on just helps to keep me a little bit cooler. Hope you're all well anyway. I'm just going to wait and see if a few more people join us. So I don't know whether you've seen, but I've just put up the new video for the new online workshops. And I have actually had a message on there from Carolyn, but I can't go and answer it because obviously I'm doing this. But I will go and answer Carolyn in a little while. Just had a message from Mary as well. Good on you, Mary. Go and purchase away, lovely. Okay. There's a couple of things I want to do before we start. I want to show you this that I received. So I'm just going to push this to one side. And I'm just going to have a drink of my brew. Oh, God, that's hot. Woo! Okay, so I received a lovely little rack from one of the ladies on my Facebook group, and it was from Mandy, and she said, "Hi Carol, saw the ribbon and thought of you." So I don't know whether you can see this okay, but it's "Everything stops for tea." How brilliant's that? I don't know why she thought of me. Huh. And she also sent me this beautiful Anne Boleyn embroidery kit as well. So I'm going to have to find time to stitch that. And in fact, I might even do it and add it to a journal. I am a fan of Henry VIII and all of that. So thank you very much, Mandy, for those. I will message you to let you know that I have actually received them. But I thought that it was handy that I had this, because I want you to guess about what today's project is going to be about, or what today's prompt is going to be. So I'm going to give you a series of clues. So that's clue number 1. This is clue number 2. In fact, I don't know, I daren't tip it because I'll tip my tea out. Can you see the words that are on there? This is clue number 3. Just reaching over. is clue number 4. And this is clue number 5. Can anybody guess what today's prompt is all about? Because I bet you in a month of Sundays, you'll never guess. It could be, Sheila, it could be. Embellished tea bags. Tea. So there's 2 guesses we've had already. Well, my thinking was, and it sort of came about when I received the ribbon, that I'm always, without fail, going on about having a brew. And for those that live abroad, it means cup of tea. It doesn't mean beer. And so I thought that today's prompt could be all about your favourite tipple. Now, I don't drink alcohol, partly by choice, but partly again due to ill health problems. Just move that up just a touch. But I'm always going on about drinking my cup of tea. And so I thought that you could do a page, whether it be a glass of wine, whether it be a cup of coffee, whether it be a cup of tea, but anything to do with your favourite tipple. All right, and mine's going to be my brew. So I'm going to put these to one side and do my first part of my page. Now, I don't know how long this is going to take because I haven't thought it through too much. Let's choose a blank page. Let's have that one. So what I was thinking of doing, I watched a video by Michelle White where she actually covered some background papers with tea bags. Now, what I actually did with mine, and I've had these done for ages and I've not done anything with them, was I actually took the whole tea bag. So it was all sealed, got the tea in it, wet all the tea bags, put them all to one side in a little pot, put them in the windowsill to dry. And then I cut them open and I brushed out all the tea leaves out of them so that it left the actual paper tea bag itself all nicely stained. And what Michelle did was she put them all, attached them all to the background paper, but she stamped on the images first. So what I'm thinking is that I'm going to do something similar in that I've got my tea bags, I'm going to cut them up and I'm going to stick them onto my background page. Now I have chosen some stamps. I'm not quite sure which ones I'm going to utilise yet. But I did think about stamping on top of some of the tea bags, not all of them, and then I'll have that as my background. So I'm going to make a start with that first. So I'm just going to put my book to one side and then move my Yorkshire tea box. And of course it has to be Yorkshire tea because I live in York, in Yorkshire. But the other reason I've chosen this box is it's got some really great images on it, look. So there's a farm scene there and playing cricket on that one. And then of course there's the images on the lid. So yeah, so I've got to use my Yorkshire tea box. I actually find Yorkshire tea a tad too strong for me, but there you go. Okay, now then, let me get my stamps out. Because as I say, I've chosen some stamps, but I'm not quite sure which ones I'm going to use because none of them are relating to tea. So I then thought that maybe I could just utilise, just take that off, and you can see that the stamps may be a bit better. I thought I could utilise these because they're just small and they happen to have some things on here that I like. So I like hot air balloons, I like books, I don't like a pipe, I certainly don't play the violin, I don't drink, I don't drive a car, I'm forever watching the time. So that one has possibilities. So I thought maybe, hi there Natalie. So I thought maybe I could make on the tea bags some images of things that I like, which will then go with my brew. Put that in there. Then got my Tim Holtz one, which had got the butterflies on, smallish butterflies. So I did contemplate just decorating the backs up with butterflies. I've got my coffee stain one, you know, my cup of tea stain one, and some splats. So I thought, well, I need to have a few of those on. I have got my Tim Holtz butterfly stamps, but these might be a tad too big. So I'll think about that. And then I've got this freebie stamp set, which had got some pretty little images on, so like these little circle ones and a bumblebee stamp, postage stamp. Certainly don't write with a quilling pen. So that one had possibilities too. So let's think. Do I make it pretty and put butterflies on, or do I add some of these little images of things that I like? Coffee stain. I think I'm going to discard that one because I think that they're too big. And I think I might try these little round stamps first and just see what they look like. Now they might be a tad too small. In fact, does that coffee stain one? Ooh, it only just fits. There's a smaller one on here. So that one might be better. If I can get it off. Ugh. Oh, from my neck. Always worried when they pull tight like that it's going to distort the shape of the stamp. So that's about the right size, so that one might work. Get me a little block out. So I'll use you. So you're too big. I like that splat. Might come back to that. I think I'm going to use those. Okay. That's quite a light coloured one, which might work quite well. So I'm going to get my scissors. So what I did was, as I say, I dunked all my tea bags in some hot water, flattened them all out, put them in a pot, put them in the windowsill to dry, and then I just cut the top edge off to pull out all of the tea bags. But I'm going to cut up the sealed edges so that I've just got the tea bag itself. Now there will still be tea attached to the inside of these, I would imagine. Ooh, didn't cut that side very well. Yeah, there's still some tea on there, look. So I'm just going to rub the remainder of the tea off. And then the fan's going to keep blowing these away. Carol, what's the name of them Tim Holtz stamps, the first set you showed? That one? Did you mean that one? I'm just reaching for my ink, if it'll come. Come on. This particular one, with the butterflies and the text and the music and the pen nibs, this one is called Flourish Layering Stencil. THS032. So that's that one. Flourish Layering Stencil. That's what it's called. You're welcome. Okay, now I'm going to use my basic grey. I did think about using black on it, but then I thought it might be a little bit too dominant. And so I thought, well, at least with the grey, it will sort of blend into the background a little bit. Now, as I say, I'm going to have to be careful because my fan is going to blow these off with them being so lightweight. And I also need a piece of paper. Oh God, I'm getting ink everywhere, look. A piece of paper to just print it off. Just going to take some of this off around the edge. Okay, let me just get a scrap piece of paper. That's with all the paper I have around me. Oh, hang on. I've got some there in the bin. When I put some new ink cartridges in, let's just make sure that that stamps off okay. It's a little bit beaded. There we go, it's starting to come. Yeah, that'll do. Now then, I did learn a little tip the other day about new stamps. And that was to, come on, where's my wipe gone? There. And that was to actually, when you've got a new stamp, to stop the ink beading up on it, you put Versamark on first, and then you wipe it off on your hand, and that just keys up the stamp to give a better image. So let's just try it on that scrap paper again. It's bleeding a little bit, but that might be the paper. Yeah, that's better. Can you actually see, look, that is slightly better than that. So it just stops that beading, and it's come up slightly darker as well. So actually doing that Versamark and rubbing it on the back of your hand is a good tip. The other thing that I watched the other day as well was Tim Holtz. Bless his little cottons. Because he said he gets fed up of watching people when they're stamping going, what did he call it? He gave it a really funny name. I can't remember what he said now, but it was funny. And he said he was fed up of watching people just pressing it down too hard, because it should just print off nicely if you've got a good stamp. So let's just do another one of these tea bags. Now I've done the Versamark thing. There we go. That is slightly better again, look. So that was the one that I did prior to Versamark, which has just smudged a little. And that was the one after the Versamark. So can you see one's sort of, this one's a better copy than that one. So there you go. Little tip for you, little tip even for you. CPR stamper, that's what it was. I thought that was quite funny. He said it looks as though you're giving CPR to someone. It did make me chuckle. Okay, let's... I want slightly paler ones. I just think that one's maybe a tad too dark. So there you go. Oh, look. Got one already there with a flower on. Oh, let me put you back because the fan's going to end up blowing you away. Yeah, these are slightly more even in colour. Okay. I'm going to have to move that fan a touch. There we go. Otherwise I'm just going to have stuff flying all over the place. So I'm just going to stamp just a couple up to start with. And so that one's still got tea leaves on the back. And then we'll start to glue some into the page. And we'll start to see what it looks like. Okay, let's do a couple of these. I'll take that one off. I'll get my Versamark back out. I love hot air balloons, the vintage ones that is. They just fascinate me because they're so decorated. So, Versamark trick, Versamark on, wipe it off. Okay, ink it up. I'm going to stamp it off first. Yeah, that stamps nicely. Looks quite nice. Quite like that. Okay. Wipe that off. Put that there. Where did I put them? They're there. Now I'm going to do the book. I was thinking about starting to read a new book. I like to read when I go to bed. So I think it just helps to switch my mind off. So I've got so much going on at the moment. That sometimes I go to bed and my brain is just whirring. Like what I need to do, new ideas, and I do keep a little journal at the side of my bed to write new ideas in as well. But sometimes I like to just switch off. So that's the books. Oh, I didn't cut that one. Whoopsie! As I said, I don't want to stamp all the tea bags. So I think it'll look quite nice with just some plain ones there as well. Just rubbing the tea off the back. So what have I got? I've got 2 coffee stains, a hot water bottle. That's because I'm talking about beds. A hot air balloon, some books. Yeah, it is quite cute, isn't it, Sheila, this little book one? I've not used any of these stamps. So it's a good excuse, isn't it, to get them out. Postmark. Let's do the postmark one. Okay, do my little trick with the Versamark. Wipe it off. Tea bag, Carol. That might help. Stamp it on. Ooh, which way up does that go? That way. It's a sailing ship. Don't do any sailing either. There we go. Right, I'm going to leave it at that with the regards to the stamping up, because I can always go back and go and do some more. So I want to get these stuck onto the page. And I'll put my stamps away later. It's that little book one. That was that set. Clear Stamps, Craft Sensations. Yeah, that's all it says. Clear Stamps, Craft Sensations by Graphics. I don't know whether you can see that. It actually hasn't got a name. This might have even been a freebie. No, it wasn't a freebie, this, was it? Oh, there you go. It's got a reference number. CR... Oh, gold. Can't read without my other glasses on. CR0274-A. So that's that one. Oh, I know what I wanted to try. I wanted to try these little decorative ones, didn't I? I'm not moving on just yet. I wanted to try these. They're quite pretty, look. You see, look. Those little circular ones. Okay. There's the mark. Wipe it off. Tea bag. Forever doing that as well. Slip my finger and always lands in the ink. I think I've got all that. Do that one that way. Oh, that's quite pretty. Right, let's get down to some real work. That was slurper tea. Okay, get rid of them. Get my book. Tidy up as you go, Carol. Now this is where the Pritt Stick's going to come in handy for these, because I don't want a whole load of runny glue with these tea bags. So if I just roughly position them, and then I can get some blank ones in between. And if I just overlap them slightly as well, that will help to create a little bit of shading where they overlap. Yeah, that little floral one, that was definitely a freebie off a magazine. Okay, move them down, and then I'm just going to run my Pritt Stick across the page. And where it overlaps, I've just put some on the previous tea bag as well. I'll catch it all up there, look. And because it's so warm, this has gone quite gloopy. So can you see the effect where they're overlapping? You've got the shadow of the one underneath it just starting to show through. So I need an extra bit on the end. Going to run some off the bottom edge of that previous row, and then across. Just not quite getting enough glue on. There we go. But I thought that you could use coffee filters as well, so it doesn't just have to be tea bags. I need just another extra little bit there on that one again. Starting to create a really nice effect. Me like. Might have to do this in a journal. By the way, for those of you that are watching that have commented, thank you so much for all the lovely comments on the Country Diary Journal. Had some really, really nice compliments. And I don't do compliments very well. So I get a bit embarrassed. Oh, I didn't put any on the edge. There we go. And can you see as well when I'm putting the glue on, I'm taking it away from the actual piece of paper, so I'm trying not to run it down over it or go over it that way, because it'll just rip or crinkle the actual tea bag itself. Oh, one more bit. Hi there, Melanie. Sorry, I'm just having a look at chat. Hi there, Melanie. Are we making a tea bag quilt? No. We could be though, but no, it's just one of the pages in my glue book, and the prompt for this one is going to be your favourite tipple. So for me, I'm always drinking a brew, a cup of tea, whenever I'm doing my videos, or I'm off to go and make a brew or whatever. But it could be wine, it could be coffee, anything to do with your favourite tipple. But I'm just starting off my page by putting some tea bags on the background to create a little bit of an effect. And yes, you could stitch them together if you so wished, but the thing is with the stitching is that I didn't want any stitching on mine, because that would then become prominent rather than the tea bags being more prominent, if that makes sense. So you'd have to be careful about what colour stitching you used. But I have to say, I'm liking the effect that it's creating. But you could do this on, say, like an index card and use it in your journals, and then it would be fine for stitching. But I think in terms of it being in the glue book, I don't know if it would work as well, because as I say, I want them to be more of a background than being in the foreground. Okay, now what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do this bottom row just plain tea bags. So I'm not going to stamp on these. And in fact, I've just seen another stamp that I can use as well. And I've also said as well that it doesn't have to necessarily be tea bags. It could be coffee filters that you use. I'm just wiping off the excess tea. Yeah, it does look a bit steampunky. I think that's because of the colour though as well, Melanie, because hi there, Barbara. Because I think steampunk looks steampunky mainly because of its colour, because it's quite dark, isn't it? More glue, Carol might help. I do love steampunk though. There's just something really appealing about it. And I've never done a steampunk journal yet either. That's on my to-do list. Oh, my to-do list is like, it's ridiculously huge. But then I think most of us are in the same boat, really. So I'm just putting glue on the edge of the previous tea bag so that it sticks on top of each other. And of course my tea bags are square as well, so if you've got round tea bags then you would definitely need to overlap them from layer to layer, because obviously if you've got a circle here and a circle here, you've got a gap down here, so then the second row you'd need to start by filling in those gaps first and then layering it up that way. Okay, so I quite like that, quite pleased with that, and I think it's a technique that I'll use again, and I'll probably use it on the likes of an index card. Now just bear with me, because I'm just going to get rid of this excess tea that is now all on my work surface. But yes, so I've got a little box of tea bags already done and dyed, so that they're all ready to use whenever the mood takes me. Covered in tea now. Okay. Oh God. I flicked some loose tea in my tea. Get rid of them. Appreciate you sharing your inspiring creativity. I've been saving my tea bags for a new journal. You're very welcome, Shannon. Okay, now then, I think my Yorkshire tea box, I'm kind of thinking that I might use it to collage on this page, because they're quite big images, and I think that if I put them on top of this page, it's going to end up blocking out all of what I've just done. So I'm going to keep that to one side for a bit, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use this digital kit. Now this digital kit was Tea Soiree by Calico Collage, and I've used this kit a lot, and in fact got commissioned to do a couple of journals using this kit. And what I did in the journal itself was I don't know whether you've watched many of my videos, but I do what I call ghost pockets. And so what I do is I print this page off twice, and then this part of the page I stick it into the journal, or it's part of the pages of the journal, and then I print it out again, and then I cut out this teacup and saucer shape, and then I cut out the spoon, and then I attach the teacup that I've cut out to the page on top of the image that's already there, but leave it so that this top bit is open, and then insert the spoon into it so that you can actually move the spoon about so it looks as though you're stirring your tea. So I thought about doing that on here, I thought I would put the teacup on there, put the teaspoon in it, and then I did think about cutting out the teapot and placing it over here so it looks as though it's pouring tea into the teacup. And as I say, I've used this technique before on journals that I've done. So I'm just going to roughly cut this out. Yeah, if you have a look on journals that I've made on the playlist called Journals That I've Made, or it's in the Calico Collage playlist, the Tea Soiree journal, you'll see me showing you that actual pocket that I've made using this technique. So I'm just going to fussy cut out this teacup. Oh, hang on, got an itch. Oh, gold. Got an itchy nose. So the other thing that you could do is you could go up to, like, say if you're into drinking coffee rather than tea. I went up to, was it Costa Coffee? I think it was Costa Coffee. And they'd got all these, they'd got a display up of all their cups and things, you know, the paper cups and what have you. And I asked them if I could have them all, and they said yes. And then I got some coffee sleeves as well, so that you could use those if you go to your local coffee shop and ask them for some of the sleeves or whatever it is they've got on display. So I'm just going to tidy this up a little bit, and you could include those as well. Or of course you can look in magazines, which is what glue booking is all about, really, is looking for images in magazines and what have you. Excuse me. Oh, thank you. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do, oh heck, that was my neighbour banging about, is I'm just going to put a slice through there. So I need my craft knife. Well, it should be. There's one. That'll do. Got anything to cut on? Lift my board out. I'm just going to put a slice along that rim. And you see I've got a slice in there now. Just have a read. It's really eye-catching, Carol. I like it. Very cool. Thank you, Catherine. Beautiful box. Love the florals on the music page. How cool. Love the idea. Cool idea. Dangerous to scratch with sharp objects in your hand. Yeah, that's very true. The height of any compliment is someone copying or using your design. I've used them many times. Thank you very much, Melanie. Carolyn. Hi there, Carolyn. First time making your live chat. Well done, you. Love everything Carol does. Now you're just creeping, Carolyn. You're just creeping. Did you know that you're my namesake as well? Because my name actually isn't Carol. It's Carolyn. There's only my mum calls me Carolyn. Hi there, Betty. Love your work and talents. Oh, that's really kind of you. Thank you. So yeah, so there's only my mum calls me Carolyn, and it's only on a Sunday that you can call me Carolyn as well. So it's my Sunday name. I don't know why, but when I was a lot younger, and I mean a lot younger, I decided that Carolyn was too pretentious a name for me to have. So I changed my name to Carol. Not by default, just got everyone to call me Carol. And my brother calls me Carol, but it sounds really odd, him calling me Carol. And he actually confessed a few weeks ago now. He was like, I can't call you Carol anymore. He said it seems really strange. I went, call me Carolyn, it's fine. So just don't call me Carolyn very often. So yeah, so my mum calls me Carolyn, and my auntie, and my brother. But otherwise, everyone else calls me Carol. And I have to remember when I'm filling in, like, you know, official documents and stuff. So, like, I recently had to apply for a new passport. I had to remember to put in Carolyn and not Carol, because obviously that's my official name. But it to me now it sounds odd if anyone calls me Carolyn, except my mum, my brother, and my auntie. Yeah, my brother calls me sis. I call him bro. So there you go, look. So I've just inserted the teaspoon into there. So I shall stick that image on there, and then I'll put my teaspoon in. And what I might do, because this is a little bit flimsy, is I might just put a little piece of thicker card just along the back of the spoon, so that will sit in there, and then that can sit on there. Hi there, Savannah. I mean, the thing is with glue books is you can do what you want. It's basically, excuse me, a glue book is just a collection of images of things that you like. How you arrange them in your book is entirely up to you. To make them look pretty, though, kind of works nicely. But if you just want to slap a load of pictures in there, then that's up to you. Now then, which glue am I going to use? I'm going to use my Tombow, I think. Take you out for a minute, and then I'm going to stick. Hang on. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I lied. I'm going to ink the edges up first. But yeah, it's up to you what you do with them. Some people just stick the images in willy-nilly. Some people stick them in so that it makes a nice collage. But it's basically a historical collection of things you like. So in years to come, and hopefully it is years to come, when we're all dead and buried, and they go up into the attic, and in that trunk, they've come across all your journals and your glue books, they can look back and go, oh my lordy, lordy, lordy. Look at what they used to do in them days. Because one of the glue books that prompts that I put down to do whilst I was working on the country diary was to, and I haven't done it myself yet, was to add images from adverts and leaflets, all to do with products that we eat and buy today, and put some prices on there. And again, so in years to come, we can look back at those and go, oh my God, look how much that stuff was then. I think Carolyn sounds so pretty, just like the projects you do. Oh, Betty, you're a love. I find interactive pieces in a books looks lovely. Hidden spaces, yeah, I love a bit of I don't know what it is about me and loving a little bit of a secret spot. Because it's not as though I'm a secretive person, but I do like giving like a little bit of a surprise, a little bit of a secret. Now I'm just going to place glue along the top edge of this cup, and I'm going to place glue along the bottom, but I'm going to leave this space here empty. Yeah, that's the point, you see, Carolyn, is in years to come we're not going to be about. And so wouldn't it be lovely that in years to come people find these things and find out all about the lives that we've led? Because we love coming across old stuff now and going, oh my God, look at that. That's what they used to do in them olden days. That's how much stuff was in the olden days. And then people can do it without things. Come on, go on in. Why aren't you going in? It's just catching. There we go. So we're making history ourselves so that people in the future can come across this stuff and know what we used to do. In the US, people throw, well, people all over the world just throw stuff away. It's not just the US. Now, I might just put that teapot up there, so it looks as though it's pouring into the teacup. Sheila, did you really mean to put that? And I'm not saying it out loud. You see, now my daughter loves my stuff, but she doesn't like doing it. But I'm hoping that in years to come, as I say, when I'm dead and buried, because it is a fact, whether we like to talk about it or not, that it will happen to us all. But I'm hoping that in years to come, both my son and my daughter will come across some of the stuff that I make and read some of the stuff that I've written. Think, oh, that was my mother all over. Or even my granddaughters, you know. So it'll be a bit of a history lesson for them. I'm just hoping it will evoke some lovely memories for them too. Because my granddaughters come and stay sometimes during the school holidays and come and make stuff. And as I say, in years to come, I'm hoping it will just evoke some lovely memories for them of time that they've spent with me and things that they've made. I just like the thought of history was always boring for me at school. We had this teacher, I've forgotten her name now, and she just used to read from a textbook, and we just used to have to copy it down, whatever she read out, and she made it really boring. Now I love history now, because I love the tales of it all, and I just think that we need to make some parts of our own history for future generations to look at. And I think that that's what I've loved about doing and making the likes of junk journals, is the history. Now do I want to cut, I think I want to cut that bit out too. Yeah, I'm going to be a little devil and cut that bit out as well. Yes, the throwaway generation. The people who lived through the war and rationing would be horrified. Oh. Oh. I don't know why. I've got an error. Now I can still see me on my phone, but it's coming up on YouTube that there's an error. So let me just refresh the page, just in case you are still all there. Yes, you are all still there. Oh, how weird. My computer shut down, so I don't know whether you you had that same error. The digital kit is a calico collage one called Tea Soiree. Now I'm just using my slightly finer scissors here to just cut this middle bit out, and I've just poked a little hole in the centre to start cutting from. Might have been to do with my tinternet. So I can't cut quite so smoothly in such a fine space as this, not with my skills at cutting. There we go. That's better, isn't it? Then I can put my little teapot up there. Yeah, maybe it was a YouTube glitch. Okay, I'm just going to ink the edges up again a bit. Yeah, I just clicked refresh and I came back. As I say, I'm still showing on my phone, so... And I'm inking the edges up to just hide a little bit of the rubbish cutting that I've done, but also to help it to blend into this background as well. Let's be careful with these delicate areas though. No, that'll do. Okay, I'm going to put the Tombow on the back again. Missed. Quick. Okay, I've got some Tombow glue on there. So as I say, I'm going to tilt this teapot so it looks as though it's tipping tea into my teacup. Let's have a slurp of my brew. See what you put in. Hi there, Maria. I had to restart, read that bit. Sheila, Calico Collage, Catherine. Oh, Carol, that is so beautiful. What a wonderful effect. Thank you, Catherine. Barbara, I've been there too. Sheila, sorry, Barbara, my phone is being stupid. So there we go, look. So we've now got a stirry teacup and then all these tea bags in the background. So I think by the time, if I ink up around the edges here as well, it'll just tie it all together. And then, as I say, I think that what I'll do is I might put some more tea bags on this side and use some of this Yorkshire tea box, and then that will tie in with the tea one. Now, just whilst you're all here, I went and purchased some of those. And I was trying them out yesterday. So they're all the same size. So I'm labelling them up for different colours. Now I think that if I use the vintage photo, that is a better colour to match in with these tea bags. So let's have a little go. And see what happens. Hang on, Mr. Page. Here we go. Ooh, that's not going to work quite so well, is it? Because... Right, hang on. This is the nice thing about having the ring-bound book, look, is I can just push all those pages to the back. And just have that single page there. Okay, vintage photo. Put them away. Put scissors away. Put rubbish in bin. They're quite nice to hold these as well. So these are those makeup brushes. Everyone seems to be using them to ink now. Well, as I say, I just thought that I'd get them to just give them a bit of a go and see how they worked. To see if they worked well. And I tell you what I found with what I've done so far is with these, with the Dibby Dabby Doobies, because these are circular, when you first go on, you get that circular shape of ink. Whereas with these, of course, you don't get that. And I think that that's what is the nicer thing about them, is that it gives you a slightly better blending on the edge when you first go in. And it's a really dense series of fibres to be able to create the brush in the first instance. I'll tell you more what I think about them in a few weeks' time after I've used them a bit more. But my initial thought is, yeah, quite like them. And they're quite nice to hold as well when I want to trim. Got an overhang of tea bag there. Bit of cack-handed cutting. There we go. Is anyone watching the tennis, by the way? Yeah, that's the other thing you see as well for stenciling. That's why I need to have a bit of a play with them first before I give an overall verdict. I thought that with the stenciling, it's a little bit more controlled with these brushes. Especially if you've got a stencil that's quite intricate. Now I would imagine it's going to take quite a while for the build-up of ink, because if I just show you a new one. So can you see, look, that you've got, they're shaded in colour already, and so you don't know how much ink you've got on here. So I would imagine it's a little bit like these. They take a while for you to build the ink up onto the sponge. And so I would imagine it's going to be the same with these. It's going to take a little while for the build-up of ink on them. But you can see it blends up quite nicely on the... I mean, I'm having to load it up a little bit with ink at the moment, because as I say, I haven't sort of worked with them too much just yet. But it just helps to blend it all in together. And as I say, this vintage photo one is just the right shade to go with the tea bags. I'm going to have to do a little bit of messing about to be able to ink this inner edge up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my new Arteza pencils out, my watercolour pencils. Put that new one away. So so I don't get it muxed up, because I just want to do a little bit of highlighting around this teacup. Because I haven't had much chance to play with these yet either. And I don't want to be too much longer, because I need to go spend a penny. Okay. Let's have a look. I want a dark brown, so I don't think I want it black. Ooh, maybe grey. Right, I'm going to try this dark brown one first. And let's see what happens. So that's the other nice thing about doing the glue book, is that you can play about with some of your art stuff too. So if I just colour that in with a bit of the brown, it'll just help to create that little bit of shading. And as you can see, I'm not colouring it in so that it looks pretty, I'm just doing it real rough. And then I'm going to use, where have we gone? There we go. Have we got any water in it? Water might help, Carol. Let me just go and fill it up with some water. There we go. Now I don't want to saturate this because of it having the tea bags underneath. I don't want them dissolving and breaking up. But if I use just a tiny bit of water just on the edge of this water brush, it'll just help to just merge those colours together a little bit. And it will just help to make that teacup stand out a little bit more. They're quite soft, these. Sorry, I'm not looking at what you're writing at the minute. I'm painting. Take my teaspoon out. And then those tea bags will just help to absorb the water, and it'll just help to just blend the colours in. Now it'll be a little bit more accentuated at the moment because there'll be a bit of a water line because the water won't have dried. That'll just help to make that tea bag stand out. I wonder if... No, I'm not going to try and be that clever. Kitchen roll. Okay. So I think if I put a little bit of card on the back of that teaspoon, and I know that I've got some tea sayings as well, so I think if I put a nice little tea saying on here too, And in fact, I know that there's a couple in the kit, in the digital kit, so I might use one of those and put some words on there too. But otherwise, I think I'm going to call that actual page done. And as I said, I'll stick the Yorkshire tea box images over here. Right, okay, let me have a read of what you've been putting. A cup of tea is like a warm hug from your family. That's waxing lyrical there, Betty. I think my first, if anything, lol, will be a binder. So if it turns out hideous, I can just not add it. You see, that's why I'm liking this book, this ring band book. Because if I do a rubbish page, I can just rip it out. Yes, it looks almost 3D now. I mean, as I say, you won't get the true effect because the paper's wet. But if I just show you close up. What kind of brushes are these, Carol? Are they sponge brushes? No, these, if you're on about these, they're actually makeup brushes, so they're fine hairs. Can you see me moving my finger along them? They're like, just try and pull a couple out. Up close, so there you go, look. So they're very, very fine bristles, but they're just compacted together really, really tightly. But I got these off Amazon, and they're all the same size. You can get various different sizes, but these were all just came the same size. Well, these I think were something like £7 something, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got 5. I got 5 of them for about £7. Because you can get the very expensive ones that are about 50 quid if you want. That's about $60–70. But I thought for trying them out purposes, I'm going to try the cheaper ones first. So yeah, so I went for those, about £7.99, £8. So that will be about $10. Got to go for now. Hope to see you all again. See you, Barbara. I'm off now as well because A, my cup of tea's gone cold, and secondly, I need to go spend a penny. But hopefully, yeah, that's the prompt for this glue book page. Your favourite tipple with me stirry spoon. Okay, has anyone got any questions that they'd like to ask me before I go? Because I think I need to maybe go and respond as well to some of the questions on the workshop. Oh God, I've got hiccups now. On the workshop video. I'm going to do all down that edge as well. Thank you, Melanie. I'm glad you liked it. And you too, Catherine. Nice to see you all again. And try and do another one next week. So... you see, I need to do some distressing on this page too. So I could use my watercolour pencils on there and my new brushes. Yeah. Liking that. Gonna do that on some index cards, I think. Okay, everyone, thank you very much for watching and thank you for joining me. And don't forget to share your own glue book pages on the Facebook group, because I get a little bit fed up of looking at my own stuff all the time. Yeah, same time next week, 3 o'clock. I always try to do 3 o'clock, Betty, on a Sunday afternoon. And then anyone who's from elsewhere in the world can watch either later on or the next day even. Okay, thank you for joining me, ladies. Nice to have seen you here, and I'll see you all again soon. See you later. Bye for now. Don't forget to go and watch the workshop video and come and join in on the workshops. Bye. See ya. Ta-ra.